So make a motion to accept the agenda of the meeting of Scituate Board of Health, Monday, October 26, 2020, 6 p.m. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So to start, scheduled items. Discuss vote septic system design hearing for 48 Town Way Extension. Jeff Hassett, representing homeowner, request for installation of septic system requiring local upgrades and variances. So Jeff, I guess you can go ahead and share your screen.
All right, share screen. All right, so again, my name is Jeff Hassett. I'm with Morse Engineering, and I'm here on behalf of the owner of 48 Town Way, Bill Slocum, who's also on the call. And we were before you back in February and maybe also again in March, for a septic repair at 48 Town Way. And at that point, we designed a tight tank because of the proximity to the ocean. And we're back before you this evening looking for a variance in order to move that tank a little bit further away from the ocean. So to explain, the tight tank was approved on the subject property. It was about 2 feet off the property line. But what we're asking to do is to put the tight tank within what's a non-constructed private way. And the reasoning is that one, conservation asked us if there's any way we could do that. And then the more we thought about it, it's a private way. So the way the ownership of that works is that if you have frontage on it, you own to the center line. So they do technically own it. And it's, again, not constructed. So if you're standing out there, it's not blocking anything. You would have no idea that's a way. The actual traveled way is on this page. It's labeled Town Way. It runs behind the other houses. So really, we just figure it's a public benefit to get the tank as far away from as possible, and why not ask to move it 10 feet further away from the ocean?
Okay. Joan, was there anything, updates or anything?
Well, we just got the plan today, so we haven't had it, I haven't really looked at it.
Okay.
I have a question about the ownership of the town, of the private way. Like, who else are there other people that like, what is that, and who else owns it? And do we need an easement for it? Because, Title V says you have to be within the property lines.
Yep.
So those are all questions.
Yep. So it's located at the end of Town Way. You see it dead ends here. So there aren't any properties beyond it that have rights to this paper Town Way. And so the Slocums own to the center line of the way. So they do not need, it wouldn't need an easement. And then they're also purchasing 47 Town Way extension right on the other side of the way. So they'll end up owning that entire portion.
And the
so
tank
it's
will
not
be where
required
the
easement.
green is, right?
What's that?
Jeff, the tank will be where the green square is?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Now, do cars go down that?
No, a point on the page over here where it's labeled Town Way. That's the actual driveway to all these houses.
Oh, okay.
This is essentially, no, there's no way to access this with a vehicle.
Okay.
This road here that you're talking about, Jeff, is no longer there at all. It's just,
Right.
everything comes in from the back way, like you said now, and comes in here. I mean, if you went down there right now, you wouldn't, you're walking on beach. It's all solid beach.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. The way I understand it is after the no-name storm, they relocated the way.
Okay. Okay. Wendy, do you have any questions?
I don't.
Okay. So if we make a motion, it's just got to be continued until the plans are upgraded?
Well, I did submit the plans. Let me pull those up. Can you see the plan now?
No, it still has the houses.
All right, I'm going to do stop sharing and then. All right, can you see the site plan now?
Yep.
Okay. So this is the site plan. I'll show you the only changes. Here in the title block, we added the revision date of yesterday for the tight tank location.
Okay.
And then in plan view, this is where we're proposing the tank. Prior, we had it right here, partially under the deck.
Okay.
And then up here under local upgrades and variances, I added the variance to allow the tank beyond a property line.
Okay.
Those are the only changes.
So I guess my question, Joan, I know you got the plans today. Would we make a motion saying, further that the plans meet the specs, or how do we?
Still have a question about the private way. So does
Okay.
everybody have rights to the private way? Are there other people? I don't know. I just have a question about the private way. And if this can be done and it's a private way, and are other people on that street have rights to, are there rights to the private way, or is it deeded in their deeds, or,
Yep.
we just want to make sure it's legally okay to do it. Like who really owns the private way?
Yeah.
Hi, Joan. Hi, Joan. It's Jeff. How you
Hi.
doing, Jeff Delisi?
Hi.
So the land in question is actually registered land, both 48, which is east of Townway Extension, and 47, which is west of Townway Extension. The deeds indicate that they own so much as Townway Extension as exists, on the plan.
Okay.
I think one of the points to note, despite the fact that we own to the midpoint, is that since we're buying the property on the opposite side, 47, we would own the entire width of the road, subject to the rights of others to pass and repass. And so it kind of gets into, it's a good question that you ask. The road, since it doesn't exist at all, and since it itself is not certified, it hasn't existed since, I think, what the No Name Storm, I think, was 1991. So an argument could be made that it's actually extinguished by virtue of the fact that it literally doesn't exist. It can't exist, and nobody can drive on it or use it. So the question is, does anybody even have the right to use it? And the answer would be they probably have the right to walk over it, but not to actually use it for vehicular purposes. It would be prevented by conservation. It doesn't exist. And as Greg pointed out, if you were to look at actually the record plan for this property, I wish we had it on the screen. Jeff, you don't have that, do you? It shows all of the properties. Yeah, it shows all of the properties east and west of this, south of this. So basically the bottom of the screen going all the way down. And I want to say the record plan was probably like 1940 something. And none of the property owners actually could use that if they wanted, because it got wiped out and relocated. So the town actually just built a Townway extension behind all the houses. So behind the house there is 47, that westerly house. The town just built a road because this one doesn't and can't. There's like no way for it to exist. So, what we're trying to do is appease the request of conservation, because I think conservation recognizes that it can't ever be used and no one would use it. And they just want to make sure that they've made the best effort to have the tank be as far away from the ocean as they can. Essentially, this is sand dune in that location. Greg, do you have any photos of that particular area, just so that the board can have a sense of what it actually looks like there? It's quite dramatic when you actually look at it, as opposed to the plan, as we see it here.
It might take me a minute to find the photos, but I do have some.
I think it would be really helpful for the board, but that's the best way I can answer that, Joan, is subject to the rights of others to pass and repass. They own the fee to the center line, and once they buy the other property all the way across.
So did the town at one point own this?
No, I don't think that the town owned it, but I don't have any personal knowledge of that.
I don't believe that the town actually even paid for the road. I think the homeowners, because it's a private way, connected the road from town way to town way extension.
That would be consistent with the way it's done everywhere else. So I would think that that's true, Andrew.
Can you see this picture?
Yeah.
Okay. So the thing I would add to that is that, the tank is obviously buried, so it wouldn't block the ability to pass or repass by foot or by vehicle. And we did spec an H20 tank, so you could drive a truck on it. There's no way to get a truck there without off-roading over the beach. But the tank is rated for truck traffic over it.
So
And
right there, that is 46. 48.
40, yeah.
And so the water is on the front side, or I don't know how they had it, but the tank would be like where all this sand is, right here.
Yeah, right here.
Okay. Would this be considered like a paper road?
Exactly.
Because I know, like, I had one next to my house that I sold, and I owned half the rights, and my other neighbor owned the other half of the rights of the paper road.
It's similar to a paper road insofar as a paper road is a road that has not been constructed. And I think that if research were done, you'd probably find out that this road existed like maybe in the early 1900s or mid 1900s. So it's kind of odd, because usually a paper road is something that's laid out on a plan to be there, but that's never been constructed. And I don't know if this has been constructed or not. My understanding was that it was at one point, but then it got taken by the ocean, and then the homeowners or the town just relocated it behind the homes that are west of this home. And that's how it's accessed to present date. Good point, Jeff, with the pass and repass is the legal right to actually do something in the road exists so long as you don't impede the rights of others to use it. So even if somebody else did have the right to use the road, nothing that the owner of 48 does to prevent them from using that would be proper. But, putting a subsurface tank in wouldn't obstruct the rights of others to use it. That's the best way I can say that.
Okay.
I know it's a lot of information, but, the bottom line is there's no practical alternative other than the location that you had it in before, and Conservation has asked us if we can ask you to move it, where we're asking to do today.
Okay. I guess I don't see, I don't know where you guys just got the plans. Do you need more time, or can we make a decision by, granting what the footage is and all that, as, pending the, everything else is fine with the plans from Joan and Drew and all that?
I think that you probably could grant the relief, since we know what the changes are, and all it is the location of the tank, and then it would be subject to whatever Conservation Commission. They haven't acted, and they have had some questions about this project. So, I don't know. That's still left to be determined. But I think that you can vote to approve subject to conservation.
Right. Joan, is that fine to do, or?
Yes, conservation's gonna have to make the approval.
Right. Okay.
Approve
Wendy,
it,
do you have?
final approval of conservation of the move.
Right.
Yeah.
So we would just go through the motion, but then add in there that pending conservation's approval, right?
That's what I'm suggesting, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Wendy, do you want to make the motion?
Yes, I'm just, sorry to say this, a little confused because I have suggested motion if granting request, then beneath that it's moved to continue, or that's,
You
Joan,
can just change that. That was just a draft.
okay.
Just change it to approval pending conservation approval.
Okay, move to approve the septic repair plan with the following upgrades requested. 1, request property line setback reduction from in the required 10 feet setback to 0. 2, request water service setback to tight tank from required 10 feet to 5.2 feet. With the following variance requested. 1, request to allow the tight tank beyond a property line of the facility it serves pending approval by conservation.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. I know this
Okay.
is a tough nut to crack, and those are really good questions you all asked. Thank you.
All right, Jeff. And Jeff. Have a good night, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good evening.
Good night.
All right. Second, discuss and vote 2021 Board of Health dates. Oh my God, 2021.
Hurry up and come.
I guess I didn't see anything. I mean, I don't, that, it just has the couple of Wednesday dates, and there's a couple that we've moved to the library small, probably pending COVID.
Yeah, it's just that we have to book the rooms.
Okay.
So that we can save them, but everything's going to be remote until further notice. So
Okay.
Who knows when we'll be able to use them, but.
All right. So, do we have to make a motion
You
and
have to
accept?
Yeah, you just have to make a motion and accept.
Okay. Do you want
Okay.
to just,
Yep, I make a motion to approve and accept the 2021 Board of Health meeting dates.
second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. New business, director's report. That's you, Andy.
Okay, so right now we have 9 septic systems under review, 3 under revised, 15 under engineering revisions, 5 under Concom review, 22 as-built we're waiting on, and we have 16 failed systems. The bulk of, I also do want to note that we are giving out flu shots still. Eileen, Scotty will be in the office on Wednesday and Thursday mornings. If people want to make an appointment to come in, they can call 781-545-8826 to make an appointment with that. Situate this past week has gone into the red on the coronavirus update. It is the final color that we could actually go into. The system goes gray, green, yellow, and red. If we are in red for 3 consecutive weeks, we will actually go back a step in our reopening plan. Currently, we are in phase 3, step 2. If we have 3 in a row, we will go down to phase 3, step 1. Some of the reductions that means is that gatherings would be limited to 50 people outside. Bar rooms could no longer seat at the bar. They would have to the step one protocol, which is table service at the bar. We're coming into the winter season and we are experiencing a surge. The state's experiencing a surge right now, right? We were 6% positive today, 6.4% positive yesterday in our numbers that came back from the state of the number of tests that came back positive. So we are definitely rising. In Scituate last week, our positivity rate was still under 2 at 1.89. We've gone up and down every other week. We've gone up 1 week, down 1 week, up 1 week, but we have been consistently under 2, which is a good thing. The state has recently suspended ice hockey or ice rinks. They've had about 30 clusters in several different communities across the state with hockey, youth leagues, and high school teams, things of that nature. So the state is stopping that until November 6th. They're closing it down for a little over 2 weeks so that they can look at their guidelines and see if they can make any improvements on them to make sure that the kids that are playing don't get it. And, one of the things we're concerned about, and we say this every week, is we're worried about the vulnerable people catching this from people who are healthy. And that is the big scare, because those people are the ones that end up going into the hospital. And the whole reason that we did the shutdown at the very beginning was to stop the spread, to slow the curve, to flatten the curve so that we could give our hospitals relief. And as we start to see this pandemic rise again, I can't stress how important it is that people wear masks when they are out and about with people, whether they're outside or inside. They should be having a mask on. And, it's going to be very, very challenging for the community when we hit, Thanksgiving and Christmas. We do have Halloween coming up. I want to make sure that people understand the state has not called off Halloween. It's a pretty difficult holiday to call off. I will say that if people are going to participate in Halloween, only go to houses that have a light on. If you are going to have a light on and participate, put your candy on a tray, not in a bucket. That way kids can just grab one piece at a time and their hands aren't touching everything. You could put it on a table out front and then walk back so that kids could come up and grab it. We encourage people to go in small groups. Don't mix families. Just stay with your own family, 1 kid, 2 kid, 3 kids, whatever. Don't be mixing families. I know in the past, during the summer, that we've had little pods and we've had them extended to, family and friends, but we were outside, we weren't in close contact. Halloween is a different subject. You were in close contact. You want to make sure your kids are close, especially when it's dark out. So we just want to make sure that people follow the rules as far as Halloween, and, really think hard about what you're going to be doing for Thanksgiving and Christmas, because I worry about what's going to happen when people are inside all this time. I'm trying to think anything else that we have. Currently, right now, we have 8 people in the town that are under quarantine. At midnight tonight, that number goes down to 7. And I think that's about it. I just can't stress enough that we should be wearing our masks, and just make sure you worry about your neighbors and take care of the people that have, compromised immune systems or underlying health conditions, and watch out for your elderly. And I think we'll wrap it up with that.
Guess I have to unmute.
There you go, Doug.
Old business, Anything with old business? All right. Administrative invoice approvals.
I do have 6 invoices. 4 are related to the flu clinics that we've had for reimbursements. And I have 2 additional for perk tests that were done that need to be signed. If I have your permission, I can do that.
I'm fine with that.
I am as well. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. I don't think there's anyone else in the,
No, no one else in the queue.
okay. So make a motion to call it a night on the agenda for the Board of Health.
Second,
All in favor?
I
Aye. All righty.
thank you.
Good night, guys.
Bye.
Have a good night.
You
Nice
too.
and easy. Thank you guys very much.
Yep.
Okay.